Perspectives on the study of Indian society is the first topic in paper 2 of sociology optional. It has 3 subparts: indology, g.s.ghurye, structural functionalism by M.N. Srinivas, and Marxist sociology by A.R. Desai. This video covers the first topic, indology, a brief introduction to indology, and an understanding of Indian society according to g.s.ghurye. Introduction to indology. Indology is an academic study of history, culture, language, and literature of Indian subcontinent. The beginnings of indology can be seen from the works of Megasthenes, who came to India in the Seleucid period and who studied Indian society. One of his observations was that caste system dominated an essentially illiterate India, and also Al-Biruni's study of political and military history of India. In 18th century, British scholars like William Jones formed Asiatic Society, American Oriental Society, Theosophical Society. Through these societies, they essentially studied Sanskrit literature, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, our languages, our paintings, our scriptures, our inscriptions on temples, and etc. to understand the social structure of India, social interactions in India, and social institutions in India. G.S.Ghurye continued this tradition. G.S.Ghurye was a student of Sanskrit from Bhandarkar Institute, where he firstly got associated with cultural studies. In one sentence, indology is to interpret text to understand context. Another aspect of G.S.Ghurye's indology is he combines indology with culturology and diffusionism. What is diffusionism? Diffusionism is the values, norms, and culture of a particular society is radiated through other societies. They are internalized and accepted. Moving on, G.S.Ghurye's understanding of Indian society. G.S.Ghurye holds that Hinduism principles acted as cosmic principles which resulted in common cultural integration of India. He means that Hinduism gave cosmic principles which are in form of triads. These triads have radiated throughout the length and breadth of India. They have mutually interacted with other cultures of different ethnicities, tribes, Dravidians, etc. to form a unified principles. How did these principles develop? In the pre-Aryan period, India was a multicultural and diverse civilization. There was no cultural communication essentially between people living in the north, south, people living in the eastern India, and people living in northeastern India. But with the rise of Aryans, gave rise to the foundation principles of Hinduism. And these principles were not directly accepted by people. There was a mutual interaction in which the Hinduism principles were imbibed by the local cultures and the local cultural values were also imbibed by Hinduism. Through these interactions, a foundational set of cosmic principles called triads came out. So, what are these triads? Triads are cosmic principles and ideological virtues which formed a base for Hinduism. They are firstly a source of knowledge. The three distinctive Vedas, the Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, gave us knowledge about rituals, art, music, dance, vocational training, warfare, astronomy, etc. And the three central Hindu deities, Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. And three Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, which we understand. The three stages of life, which are also known as Vanashrama Dharma, which are Brahmacharya, Grihastha, and Sannyasa. Three behavioral qualities, Dham, Dan, Daya. Three works in life, Jagyan, Adyan, and Dan. So essentially, these triads were spread throughout the India, and they were internalized by each and every section of the society, and they became a unified part of collective consciousness of India. Try to relate this to Durkheim's concept of collective conscience. Like Durkheim, Ghurye believed that collective conscience is a product of culture that is holding Indian society together. Caste differences, occupational differences, inequalities on the basis of power and wealth, locational differences were subdued to the common cultural integration. These triads are the essential reason why Indian culture sustained through centuries. These triads essentially gave India the attitude of altruism, charity, quest for knowledge, control of egoism, which was the essence of Hindu social life. Durkheim believed that this Hindu cultural values was the essential reason why the Indian culture was continuous since the days of early Aryan civilization, and why Indian culture persisted even as India did not have a unified ruling class like Europe. Hence, Ghurye concludes that this is the functional significance of Hinduism. What are the factors which are responsible for radiation of common value consensus or triads? Firstly, it is the Brahmins played a crucial role in training the ruling class of India. The training of all the ruling class across different geographical regions, different kingdoms, different ages was provided by Brahmins. This training imparted knowledge of Dham, Dan, Daya to control egoism, and it inculcated wisdom and acted as a linkage between across the ages and geographical period. Secondly, Brahmins and other saints, Bhakti saints, all have essential role in reading and interpreting and propagating the essence of Hindu culture through folks, through folk dance, plays, dramas, etc. And thirdly, Sanskrit acted as a common language of elite, and this was translated by Brahmins into the common language. Tamil in South India also acted as a unifier. And thirdly, what are the another reasons for continuity are the marriages between localities. It is also known that many marriages happened between the people of Central India and the Northeast India. Secondly, the Hindu kingdoms were established far and wide across India. And thirdly, the language of Sanskrit. In the further video, we will discuss on Ghurye on caste, tribe, and how these principles of Ghurye were criticized by fellow sociologists.